Hello everyone, welcome to a showcase of my Factorio Automall. There are many Automalls that you can find on YouTube. Mine has some specific features that I want to show you, and I hope you'll enjoy this one. In this video, I'm going to explain an overview of what the Automall is, of all the parts of the Automall, but I will not give a detailed explanation of how to construct each part. I'm planning on a video series where I explain each step in detail, and I will make an Automall that is belt-based. And hopefully in this series you will be able to learn enough about circuit to make your own Automall, whether belt-based or bolt-based. So here's how the Automall looks. You might note this is not the most beautiful thing that you can create, but what you can do here is you can go to the center around here and press Alt plus right click and make a marker on your minimap. And here you can adjust the zoom distance of your preview, and you set it to 8 times, and this is a pretty good preview of all the information that the mall is displaying, and you give it a label. And next time when you want to check on the mall, you can just hover over this minimap tag to see all the information that you want to get from this mall. So let's start with the input. The input involves a list of requests and the signal of your logistic network storage. Now, if we focus on the main part of the Automall, here I set up my request of 7 red belts and some blue inserters. And in the logistic storage, I have some red belts in it and some blue inserters, as well as some ingredients for our mall. And I'm going to send these information to the Automall for it to start working. Okay, so the first part, or the second part, after the input, is the display. I want to display a percentage of how much is already in my storage. So I would calculate the percentage of satisfaction for each item. Next, I would select an item in the list, and I would also display a percentage bar for a nice visual. And thirdly, when the percentage changes, I want some kind of animation effect just for the loops. Okay, here let's suppose we want to make some speed modules, and right now we have nothing in the chest, so this progress bar shows 0% of the speed modules. But if we were to drop in a speed module into the chest, look at the progress bar, it will go from 0 to 20% and from 20 to 40. And you can see there's a very nice animation effect for the progress bar, and this is what I wanted to achieve. Next, we have a timer that will allow us to loop through the requests that we've made. So say we start with the zeros item that we say we want to work on, or the nth item, and we set up a time such that after this many seconds, we go to the next item. So we increase n by 1, we work on the next item. And if we do see a confirmation that we have enough ingredient to make the item, we stop the timer and begin production. Afterwards, we just reset the timer and start again. So here's how it looks in game. Here I have a mode that displays the time. I have set up the timer to be 180 so that it repeats after 3 seconds of inactivity. And we have a lot of selector combinators choosing the nth item. And up here, I have the turned item, as well as the next and the next item that are queued in this process. Okay, next we have something I call a freeze frame of the storage, which says that when I select a new item to work on, I want a snapshot of what my current logistic network is. It's called a freeze frame because I will use this value until the next item is selected. And the reason for this is that when we calculate whether we have enough ingredient for making this item, the storage information might change during that calculation because you might have bought taking out some ingredients from the storage. So we don't want this to fluctuate too much because that would mess up our calculation. Now, if I make a belt-based version of the Automall, this would not be necessary because we would use a dedicated storage system that are not affected by bots. And here's how it looks in game. I have these circuits taking in the logistic storage content and only pass it through if we have a new item being queued. But right now it looks really ugly, so I hope you look forward to my video explaining how to do this. Okay, the next part I think is the most complicated part of this Automall. It gives a recipe decomposition, which means if I have selected an item to make, I would want to find its ingredients, the items in its recipe, and see if those are in the storage. If not, then I want to record the sub-items that are insufficient and check their recipes and see if they can be crafted using what I have in storage. And I want to repeat this process until I realize that, oh, I have enough ingredients to craft all the sub-items, or we reach one sub-item that does not have a recipe, say for example a plastic bar or an iron plate or some kind of fluid that I cannot make using the assembler. And when calculating this, I want to pause the timer because if I set the timer to be super short, I don't want to run out of time when calculating the sub-recipes. And if all ingredients are satisfied, I would send a confirmation to make the item, along with all the list of all the sub-items that I want to make. And I want to display these sub-items. And finally, if a basic item here is not available, then I will display this missing item and unpause the timer and let it run to the next request. Okay, so here we are in game. Let's say I want to make some blue inserters, but I only have iron plates in my storage. I have this combinator that says that well, I have 100 plates in storage and I want one inserter. So it's going to break down the inserter and see I want 2 yellow inserters and some circuit and some irons. Next, it looks at the green inserter and see I want some copper cables too. And then it looks at the copper cable and say I want some copper plate. But there's no recipe for copper plate in an assembler. So if we go up here, we'll see that it's displaying that we're missing one copper plate. Now, on the other hand, if I change the request to some red belt, it says I want some red belt and I want some yellow belt and some iron gears and some iron plates. And it realized, oh, iron plates, I have those, and I can make all these items using iron plates. You'll notice I have some big numbers here, which I will explain later. And now a confirmation is sent to the builder, and we see that we have some sub-items of iron gears and yellow belts and red belt to be made. And the number up here displays how many sub-items we still need. You'll also note that the number of gears we need is not exactly right, it's a bit too many, and I'll also explain this later. And now the red belt is made, it goes from 0 to 20, and we keep making some. Now, why did I output more gears and more yellow belt than I really need? The reason is because I want them to be ordered by how basic the sub-items are. I want the plate to be ordered first, then the iron gear, then the yellow belt, and then the red belt. That's because we want the machine to work on the most basic items first. Otherwise, it's going to get stuck. If it doesn't make gears first, it can't make the red belt. And with this order, we can build each sub-item until the desired item is made. The reason I'm outputting more items than I really need is because this order is difficult to extract just naturally in Factorio. Because in Factorio, say the order of items is not by how basic they are. You'll see that the yellow belt is ordered before the red belt, but on the third tab, we have the iron gear, which means the iron gear is ordered after the yellow belt. So it's not an order by how basic the items are. It's kind of arbitrary. After that, the rest is not so difficult. We have something called idle detection, which is when the assembler is crafting, we might have the ingredient be shortage because maybe some bot take away some ingredients that we thought were there. So in that case, we want to display the item that the machine is waiting on and have a timer set such that if the machine is idle for X amount of seconds, then we cancel this build and restart the process. And we don't want to set X to be too small because we want to account for the amount of time that the bot flies from storage to the requester chest. Let's see it in game. We have this building some red belt, but let's say I take away all the ingredients. Okay, now it's waiting for this gear that I just took away. So I have a timer that counts up to 10 seconds. Oh, then it stops, and it tried to recalculate, and now I realized I took away all the iron plates, and it says I'm missing iron plates. And that's it for the overview of the Automall. I hope you look forward to my future videos on a more detailed explanation of how to build this. I'll see you around. Bye!